Hey, you lovely people, welcome to the channel. We got a nice thread here from Suleiman Ahmed about Russel Brand. By now you know he's been accused. It's all over the place. It's actually quite crazy, but at the same time many things are already coming out showing the incongruences of this whole hit piece. My first reaction obviously was because of the timing, that this is bullshit, because they're trying to target somebody that has grown very prominent, a prominent voice, and they're using the Julian Assange method. Don't forget, Julian Assange, same thing. He got very famous because he uncovered dirt, let's say, on the government and through WikiLeaks, and all of a sudden they found somebody that accused him. Bam! Getting rid of Assange. So, same thing is happening here with Brand. The thing that is interesting is, as Ahmed is saying, is that they contact 100 people trying to dig dirt on Brand. And in this period, Brand said that at the height of his fame, he was sleeping with an average of 80 women a month. That's a lot of women. The guy was busy. And yet they only managed to find 4 women, all of whom were actually in a relationship with Brand. To me, this is actually quite important, because the fact that those 4 women actually had a relationship with him really shows why would they retroactively change a story. I saw another YouTuber, which I will share more, when he posts those things, that he said that he has evidence that in the mainstream media on some of those channels there is basically a group called the Grape Squad, which basically gets together to pressure in when they have to find this type of stories. They go try to find victims and pressure people to basically rectify a story, right? You can change a verbiage, you can turn things around a little bit to fit the story you want to sell. The first thing here that it's wrong about all of this should be that, first of all, there should be police report, then maybe an investigation, then if there are enough evidence to press charges, a trial, and then you make a documentary. No, they didn't even make sure that all of this is accurate, and they immediately, with haste, boom, threw out the stuff. So, is it very difficult to find 4 livid women which you can actually pressure into tell you something you want to hear? Probably not, especially when maybe some of those women, their relationship ended in a less pleasant way, which we will learn also later. So we already saw this one woman here that came forward,
and I have the receipts. I was contacted in June by a journalist regarding a video I made about a certain celebrity and a weekend that we shared together. The video is kind of viral. It's on my page somewhere if you want to go see it. And that certain somebody was, as most of you will be aware, Mr. Brand. They weren't going to use my story because it didn't fit the narrative for their documentary, because he wasn't an arsehole to me. But here are some of the messages. Obviously, I will take out the person's name and stuff. We had a phone call. She contacted me for more information, and I didn't contact her back because I kind of felt like it would be mean. Anyway, there you go. Put your bets on. It's a documentary about the one and only Mr. Russel Brand. And just a fun fact. Astrology-wise, the lunar nodes of destiny have shifted into Aries right on top of his Mars and Moon. Written in the stars, baby. Okay, bye.
I have no idea what the last part is, but anyway, obviously you could argue this for or against, but the thing is that it's interesting is that, again, this guy has slept with so many women, and already are women coming forward to defend them. If somebody is an asshole often, probably there will be more people. But anyway, let's move on. The thing that is also interesting, and most likely you also have seen, is that what they published as evidence as exchange of message turns out to be a doctored document here. This exchange, first of all, shows an interaction in between 2 people which they're together, and the woman, she's complaining that he wasn't wearing the condom, therefore upset because now she wants to get tested because he doesn't have a very good reputation because he fucks around. But the thing is that meet this part right here, you see that the fonts are different, this whole part is more blurry, and when you magnify it, actually I have it here on this other part of my channel, which we can see together. I posted yesterday morning. You can actually see that right there is like a line, and if you magnify even bigger, you can see that right here there is like somebody doctored put this together from different sources, and they wanted to make it sound like as if she's referring to grape, when in fact she's upset that he didn't use a condom. Again, people having a relationship together. This part is very sketchy, because where do you draw the line in between two people which are having a relationship, and most likely they have had sex already several times, they've kissed each other, they've sucked each other, they've whatever done to each other, exchanges of fluid, and all of a sudden you can decontextualize one event, right, and rephrase it in a way that it might sound like, haha, gotcha. I find this very, very hard. And as you can see here, if we continue to scroll, and also there were some other evidence here of time stamp missing. So again, showing that this is totally tempered evidence. This seems like to be the trend right now. I've had consensual sex and regretted it later. I thought I wanted to do it, made a mistake. Then Jesse replies, if you regret it, then you didn't consent 100%, and then it's grape. So with this logic, you basically can retroactively go through the life of anybody and find them guilty. Anyone. Anybody. So I think this is an absolute bullshit line. Disrespectful, sorry, for real victims. I urge, and everybody should be urged, to seek for help and go to the police as quickly as possible. I'm not even saying that it has to be in the first week, but the more time passes, the less credible it becomes, because all of a sudden those stories are resurfacing it after 15 years. After 15 years, they become so relevant for these people that they need to come forward, and they couldn't do it before any other time. And instead of doing it to the police, they're doing it to the media. Seems like, things the other way around. Those women that were all in a relationship with Brand. One of these women even says that she was invited to come over. She went over and find him with another woman, and she was ashamed that he would do that to her, and that's how the relationship ended. Now, it's not unfeasible to think that that woman, right, one of these women that came forward that the relationship ended their way, is not unfeasible to think that under the same pressure of the grape squad, you can draw out of this person what you want to hear. Especially when somebody's maybe gets more emotional about that, or there is, I always said this, the entertainment business is full of pieces of shit. People which they're social climbers, which they will do anything they can to go on top of somebody else to gain a better position of privilege. People that are jealous, that they cannot wait that you fall. So it's not exactly, even if they want to come across as virtuous, it's not exactly a virtuous environment by any stretch of the imagination. So they went to pick up all these type of people which they might have a reason to get back to somebody. She says Brand continued to pursue her, and sometime after he asked her to visit his flat. When she arrived, they kissed and had sex. They began a relationship, but she alleges he told her to keep it a complete secret. She claims Brand told her he had written into his contract that he wasn't allowed to have any S contract with anyone working on Big Brother. And the mall said that they have reviewed the contract, and Brand did not have any clause pertaining to S relationship. So maybe he just wanted to be careful. A party of one night, he met Nadia, a businesswoman who was then in their 30s. They exchanged number, and Brand later got in touch, and they began texting and talking on the phone. She said they met up in June 2012 at his house in LA and went on to have consensual S, but she was unsettled by his glazed over look. So Phoebe, who was in her 20s, says she met Brand at an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting before they started working together, and that she had a brief sexual interrelationship with him, which had ended by the time he alleged in early 2013. She claims he grabbed me and got me on the bed. She claims he tried to kiss her and remove her clothes or pin her down. Phoebe says, and I saw something come over his eyes. I swear to God, like black. His eyes had no more color. They were black, like the devil, like a different person literally entered his body. She was fully clothed. I was screaming and I was like, what are you doing? Stop, please. You're my friend. I love you. Please don't do this. I don't want to do this. I think he had his hand down my trousers, but I was fighting so hard and I was screaming so hard, hoping that I could get through somehow. She says, I don't know what the actual definition of SA is, but it feels like that. It did not grape me. The thing that really came to me here was the fact that this part of the story of the black eye immediately reminded me of actually Amber H on the stand talking about Johnny Depp. Seems like this type of story goes around everywhere, sort of a little bit repurposing, right? Repurposing the story. I don't know, I found the similarity to be compelling there. I asked a group of people who had arrived at the house for a meeting about the project. Years later, they say she met one of the people who had been in this group. Says he pulled her aside and said to me, I have never forgiven myself for not running in that house to save you. I heard you screaming and I didn't know what to do, and we were all so scared of him and I didn't do anything, and I'm sorry. The Times attempted to contact this person but did not respond. Very convenient that this evidence is not there. So, behind closed doors first became public in 2014. An ex-girlfriend, Jordan Martin, wrote about their relationship in a self-publicized book, Not Entanglement with a Celebrity, in which she renamed Brand Randall Grant. And herself, Dina, she declined to be interviewed for this investigation due to personal family circumstances, but has confirmed that she stands by her account in the book and said that it's an accurate depiction of their relationship. Brand never challenged her on its content, and she also said that then later on the lawyers of Brand very aggressively contacted her, implying that she was after the money, even though she says she never mentioned the money. The only person mentioning the money was the lawyer. They're never after the money. They're never after the money.